Good day, everyone. And today I'm going to discuss about teaching grammar in situational context using a generative situation. But before we proceed, let's discuss first what is situational context in teaching. So, in the context of teaching, situational context refers to the specific circumstances, conditions, and factors that surround a particular teaching and learning situation. It encompasses various elements that can influence the effectiveness of the teaching process and understanding of students. So, in teaching grammar using a situational context, this method is an effective approach to language instruction that places grammar learning within real life situations. So, this method capitalizes on the principle that learners are more likely to grasp and retain grammar concepts when they encounter them in an authentic context. The key element is the use of generative situations, which are carefully crafted scenarios where learners naturally encounter and use specific grammar structures. So, in situational context teaching, it is an instructional approach that centers on immersing learners in real life situations or context to facilitate meaningful and practical learning experiences. So, this method is particularly effective for language acquisition, as it emphasizes the use of language in authentic scenarios, enabling learners to apply language skills in practical everyday situations. So moving forward, here is the method description: teaching grammar in situational context using a generative situation. First, we have select a real life scenario. So to begin by choosing a real life scenario or context that is relevant to your students' lives and language proficiency levels. So this scenario should provide opportunities for naturally occurring grammar structures to emerge. So second, we have identify target grammar structures. So to determine the specific grammar structures or rules you want to teach within the chosen scenario, these structures should align with your students' current proficiency level and learning objectives. So we have number three, create a generative situation. So to design a generative situation within the selected scenario, a generative situation is one that naturally leads to the use of the target grammar structures. For example, if you are teaching the present continuous tense, you might choose a scenario like describing what people are doing at a party. So we have number four, authentic materials. Provide authentic materials. So you have to gather authentic materials that relate to the generative situation. These materials could include photos, videos, dialogues, or written text that depict the scenario and the target grammar structures in use. So number five, we have engage the students. So by engaging the students, uh, you have first to introduce the generative situation to your students and immerse them in it. Encourage them to explore and interact with the authentic materials, encouraging discussions, observations, and questions related to the scenario. We have number six, guided discovery. So, guide the students to notice and identify the target grammar structures as they naturally occur within the generative situation. Facilitate discussions and activities that lead students to discover the rules and patterns organically. So, we have number seven, explicit instruction. After students have had chance to explore and discover the grammar structures, provide explicit instruction. Explain the rules, offer examples, and clarify any questions or misconceptions that may have arisen during the guided discovery phase. So, number eight, practice and application. So, engage your students in various activities and exercises that allow them to practice using the target grammar structures within the generative situation. This could involve role playing, writing dialogues, or participating in conversations related to the scenario. We have number nine, feedback and corrections. This is very important. Provide constructive feedback on students' language used within the generative situation. Correct errors and encourage them to refine their language skills continuously. So, number 10, we have reflection and generalization. Reflect and generalize. Encourage students to reflect on how they can apply the learned grammar structures in different contexts beyond the generative situation. Help them generalize their knowledge to other real life scenarios. So we have number 11, assessment. This is very important. Assist students understanding and proficiency with the target grammar structures through quizzes, assignments, or assessments that required them to use the structure in different situations. And we have number 12, repeat with new scenarios. So continue this approach by introducing new generative situations that target different grammar structures, gradually building a comprehensive understanding of grammar in various contexts. So that concludes that by teaching grammar in situational contexts using generative situations makes learning more engaging, relevant, and memorable for students. It allows them to see the practical utility of grammar in their everyday lives and promotes a deeper understanding of language structures. Thank you.